In this chapter, you'll learn about the following related to pilots' personal documents: privileges, prerequisites, recency, additional ratings, aircraft divisions, validity of revalidations, and flight time and documents to be carried. For most any group of aviation personnel, a specific limit is set as to what you are allowed with a given certification and what requirements are to be fulfilled for the allowance to have effect. Privileges and prerequisites are described in detail in the implementing rule of aircrew regulation, officially known as EU Regulation 1178 from 2011. Privileges of the PPL are to be the pilot in command or a co-pilot. If you hold a PPL A, you may fly on aeroplanes and touring motor gliders. If you hold a PPL H, you may fly on helicopters. The term pilot in command means the person who is responsible for a given flight. Every flight must have an agreed upon pilot in command so that only one person have the entire legal accountability. This means that if safety is compromised, accidents and serious incidents, flight safety incidents, or rule violation occurs during a flight, the pilot in command will be the one to blame, unless of course it is beyond his or her control. You are only allowed to function in these roles on flights that are not commercial. The term commercial operation means any operation of an aircraft in return for remuneration or other valuable considerations. The reason for the commercial limitation lies in that a higher degree of safety standard applies to commercial operators that results in a higher financial burden for those who uphold the privileges to fly commercially. Since you do not carry this burden, you must accept in return the limitation on your privileges. Your privileges require certain conditions to be met. These are a medical certificate, class or type rating, good flying practice, and additional ratings. You must hold a medical certificate that, generally speaking, shows that you are not prone to any illness that is sudden and violent in nature. Medical certificates are available in several levels. The one required for the PPL is called a Class 2 medical. An aeromedical examiner issues your medical, and the certificate has a limited validity period. The older you get, the shorter the validity period is. To extend the validity, you must pass a medical assessment again. Before you can act as a pilot on your own, you must pass a skill test. The skill test is the final practical exam at which you demonstrate that you are competent to act as a pilot for the relevant aircraft, just like when you obtain your driver's license. As you'll see shortly, all aircraft are defined in either classes or specific types. You're required to have had training on the class or type you intend to fly. If you as a pilot intend to bring passengers along on a flight, you're only allowed to do so if you have current flying practice. Originally, the thought behind this was that when you bring others with you, you have to allocate mental resource to cater for others on board and the safety of those who are not actively taking part in the flight. If you have to struggle with being a rusty pilot along with the hosting task, you'll probably perform even worse. Today the concern is manifested in that you're required to have performed 3 takeoff and landings within the last 90 days if you wish to carry passengers. If you do not qualify, you're simply required to go out and perform the required number of takeoff and landings. Initially, you are only allowed to fly normal single-engine aircraft during the day and in relatively good weather conditions. If you wish to fly outside of these limitations, you are required to have additional training. There are defined the following additional ratings that require further training to obtain the privileges. Night rating is required if you wish to fly at night. Aerobatic rating if you wish to perform aerobatic maneuvers. Instrument rating if you wish to fly in poor weather under instrument meteorological conditions. Mountain rating, if you wish to take off or land on mountainous areas announced so by the competent authority. And finally, towing rating, if you wish to tow banners or sailplanes. The term aircraft is defined by